Hello, everybody. We're here. Myself, Chris, Narelle, the carnivore monsters. We've got another special guest on today. You guys know him as John White. Uh, he's definitely the biggest difference I've seen in anybody in carnivore. I'm so glad. He's going to give us his story. But first, I'd like to play a short video because don't want anybody to think I'm Dr. Marty, okay?
The carnivore lifestyle we are sharing is not run by dietitians or medical professionals. Everything discussed in this video forum is general in nature and is in no way medical advice. Speak to your medical professional to determine if this lifestyle is right for you, and do not start it if your physician or healthcare provider advises against it. Welcome to the Lion's Den. Chris and myself are going to talk about our journey in the carnivore lifestyle. We believe we are apex creatures and were never meant to graze. Disclaimer. The carnivore lifestyle we are sharing is not run by dietitians.
Okay, let's get it off. God, overkill. Anyway, so Narelle, say hello.
Hey, good morning, everyone from Australia. Lovely to see you all. Looking forward to our special guest today. Thank you so much for being here. I've got a few statistics I've put together for a little bit later on. But thank you, Marty. Thank you, Chris. It's always a pleasure to be with you both.
And we got Chris Johnson. He got shooed. I mean, you heard his hoof today?
I heard it 2 days ago, and just now it's affecting me.
Yeah, no, he's been pretty bad. So,
listen, I only came here because I heard you were giving out free beef. So is that what it not is? Because I come to eat beef, and those animals are good.
All right, let's bring on the guest speaker today, Mr. John White. John, they got to hear your amazing story. Thank you so much for coming today. Plus, he's one of the powerhouses in a company that we're in. So, John, tell us what happened. Tell us what happened about this carnivore.
Well, I looked in the mirror one day, looked around, and this must have been 2 years ago. And I found out that someone my size usually didn't reach my age. Now, I wanted to be frank with you. I weighed more than 375 when I got on the carnivore diet. I was a little north over 400.
Wow.
It was to the point where, like, for instance, when I went to Boston, I had to ask for an extender to wrap around me so that I could, be seated and not move. I wouldn't have needed to have a belt or anything. I wouldn't have been able to move anyway. But I had a lot of health issues. First of all, I was diagnosed with sleep apnea in 1997. Then I took 2 different types of blood pressure medicine. I took gout medicine. I took 800 milligrams of painkillers each and every day. And I just said, it's got to be something better. See, when you're large, you're trapped into your own world, and you look at life a little bit different than someone else, who is what we call a normal size individual. I work at a barber shop, and I looked at some of the pictures when I started, and my stomach was over almost my customers. If if they were to be caught in the rain and would have gone under my stomach, I was provided with them, an umbrella. But it was just really bad. So I went to the doctor. I told them that I have gout. They said, well, you got to do this. You have to stop eating red meat because that gives you gout. I said, okay. But what they didn't know was I started with the keto diet. I remember you're talking about it, Marty, the keto diet. And I started with 50 grams of keto, vegetables. I didn't get fruit anyway. And then I would supplement that with animal protein and animal fat. And I started to lose the weight. But it wasn't to my satisfaction because I still had some aches and pains. My body was full of inflammation. Also, I was pre-diabetic and also pre-arthritic. All of those pre's. So I was miserable. So I started with the keto. Then I said, I'm going to take it and start doing intermittent fasting. I started with intermittent fasting. I was on the 18-6, 18 hours, and then 6 hours where I would have a time to eat. But during the fasting, I found in research an incredible term called uh, autophagy. Autophagy is your body's own mechanism for getting rid of things that would cause your body to experience sickness. It's a self-cleaning. So I did that for maybe about maybe a couple of months, and in between doing the keto diet, I also went down um, to where I was able to start recognizing a shape of a person who I used to know a long time ago. I got off of the intermittent fasting because I was like doing one meal a day, and I then started doing for about 2 sessions. I did a 3-day fast where it was nothing but water. Okay, that really helped, and all the time you have to remind yourself that you're feeling so good that you don't even think about eating. You have to, oh yeah, I didn't eat anything. I went another step further after that, and that was the end of my fasting. Was I did a 5-day dry fast. Dry fast, no liquid, nothing. You can't even put water on your body or brush your teeth because of the water content. And my brother and sister-in-law thought I was nuts. Okay. Then I started with the carnivore. And the transformation that was taking place was incredible. I just started losing weight. And each day that I wake up, I would be 2 or 3 pounds lighter than a couple days, after that. But I just made it up in my mind that this is what I wanted to do. Now I had some pictures. Julie Wynn took a picture of me, and I was 375 when I was in Boston, but I was actually close to 400. Because that group picture that we took, I think I could have been 4 of them. Because we had Charles Osong, we had Michael Williams, you had you also, Chris, was in that picture. Yeah. I couldn't believe that was the same person. But I just said, now I'm going to lose this weight. Went to Boston. That was the last time I had a real splurge. We're sitting around the table with Chris hugging everybody and cracking jokes. And we're marveling at Mr. Mafara's ability to hide food. I mean, he could really eat. And we had that really nice get together. And after that, I just said, I've got to do better. And I just went full blast into Carnivore. Now, I went from 400 pounds to my lightest weight was 197 pounds. 197 pounds. What I did is this: I started saying, well, 197, that's kind of extreme. I'm 6 feet tall. My brother thought I was going to be dropping, just drop. It didn't happen. I eliminated fruits and vegetables, increased my meat intake, and guess what? The gout went away because it was the carbohydrates that was causing the problem. You see, the body has been constructed to where it makes its own cholesterol and it makes its own carbohydrates. Cholesterol is beneficial because if you didn't have cholesterol and all that was taken, you'd be dead inside of a day or less. But when you start taking in carbohydrates, your body is saying, well, wait, I already have carbohydrates, and that's enough to take care of the body processes. But when you start putting carbohydrates down your throat, then your body starts to burning the carbohydrates as opposed to the fat. That's why you see people with the extreme animal plant diet, the extreme vegan diet, they normally don't lose weight the way I did. They would maybe lose some of his body, but the head is still a globe like. You see. So I'm totally amazed at what I'm doing. And now I hadn't been 100% carnivore. I have my coffee. I mean, I have cheese, especially when I want a dessert. I just, eat cheese. You see? But I'm mainly beef. You know what I'm talking about, Narelle. Beef, some chicken, but only the fatty portions of the chicken, the dark meat. That's where the fat is. As far as the chicken doesn't even have to have a breast for me, because that's where you have your least amount of fat. But fat is beautiful. Animal protein is incredible. You have all of your minerals and vitamins in the flesh of animals. So you don't need carbohydrates. Sugar is a killer. Anything that you eat carbohydrate turns to sugar. I had a physical done in October of 2022, and my A1C was 6.7. My glucose level was like 105. So I was diagnosed as pre-diabetic. But my cholesterol level was 240. That's the total cholesterol. My LDL cholesterol was a little bit higher. And the doctor, instead of looking at all the other things that were bad, she said, you've got to lower that cholesterol. I said, oh, okay. Well, how did I do that? She says, I'm going to give you some statins. I said, oh, okay. Now, I'd done all my research. I didn't take not one statin. When she retested me on my cholesterol only, she says, your cholesterol went down. Your triglycerides were high. Now they're down. Your HDL cholesterol, which was low, is high. That's what they call the so-called good cholesterol. But your LDL cholesterol went from from 420 to 390. So you must have been taking the statins. I said, if I have, then that's a complete shock to me, because doctor, I never opened them. So how can you explain that my cholesterol went down without taking statins? And she says, are you kidding me? I said, no. She asked me what kind of a diet. I said, I'm a carnivore and proud of it. And she says, you are? I said, October this year, the 24th, when I went to the doctor, the same doctor, my weight was 206. She said, what happened? From where I was, my blood pressure was 112/74. And she says, now, you told me to stop giving you high blood pressure medicine. That was 6 months ago, and your blood pressure is that good without taking medication. No gout, no pain. I mean, she says everything is great, but that cholesterol is the biggest lie that's ever been perpetrated on people. And the reason is my opinion, based on research that I've done, it's a multi-billion-dollar business, these statins. And see, anytime you get, now the statin will lower your cholesterol, but why would you want to lower your cholesterol with something that your body is using? So you're fighting against your body. Cholesterol has never caused any problems when it comes to heart disease, when it comes to strokes, any of those kinds of things. Now, it's a funny thing that the plaque buildup is in the heart area, right? The veins and all that go into the heart. My question is this: isn't the same blood that's in the heart, it's in the veins too? And why don't you have the plaque buildup in the veins all over your plate? You don't. What causes it? High concentrations of highly processed food, carbohydrates. That's causing it, because if your blood pressure is high, it's going to create the pressure in those chambers that's going to cause the linings of your arteries to be damaged. The cholesterol was there to make sure that the cholesterol repairs the damage. So it doesn't cause it, it repairs what people are putting down their necks when it comes to carbohydrates and sugars. And don't even let me get on vegetables, oxalates.
You're exciting, John.
I've never seen a carnivore who had their gallbladder removed. The reason why a person has gallstones and kidney stones is that they are taking oxalates. See, a vegetable has what we call an anti-nutrient. It fights against nutrition. So when your body makes a small amount of oxalates, but when you start putting spinach and all of these drinks, it's the worst thing that you can even ever get, because it fights against the body. And one other thing, anybody who has seeds, as far as I'm concerned, anybody who's got seed oils should really think about getting rid of them, because that's one of the main reasons why people have heart attacks and strokes, is seed oils. And even olive oil is not like if you were to fry your foods in lard. So I use lard, bacon grease, put those eggs in there. My sister-in-law said, you're going to drop dead from heart attack with all that grease in your eggs. I said, no, I'm going to put butter on top of that, because it doesn't bother me. better than I've ever felt. Okay, that's just, I could go on and on and on and on.
No, that was fantastic, John. You know what's funny? We all have the same story that has been doing it. I remember back in the 70s, that's when this big craze about fat-free, low carb.
Yeah.
Fat-free, and then
high carb.
They didn't. Yeah, and high carb. Yeah, eat grazed rice and wheat, and they said, well, not white bread, use rye bread, and of course everybody did it. Now I remember going. I said last week, I went to visit my grandmother, and she was frying eggs and bacon, greasy butter. I'm an idiot. I go, Grandma, you should be careful. And she goes, why? You didn't see this stuff's bad for you. She goes, well, I'm 102 years old. It must have been okay when I was growing up. I feel like an idiot. Yeah. And I said, wow. But I remember years ago, John, and everybody here, you remember when Atkins came out?
Yes.
The only thing Atkins was missing was the fat part. I think he did too much protein, right? I didn't.
Yeah, he
but
had
I remember
too much protein.
doing that, and I lost the most weight on it. Didn't feel my best, but my journey was like yours. When I got into carnivore, when I got into keto, I was like 30 grams a day, and I was getting better, but it stopped. Still losing weight, but the feeling stopped. And I had a lot of inflammation, like you did.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, break it. I'm doing something else. So I looked around, and I hear carnivore. What the frick is carnivore? Oh, meat, butter, salt, water. It's like, I think I could do that. And then I even went one step further. I went into the lion diet where I'm just beef only. But I had an extreme reason to do it because I want to get healthy quicker. Now, yes, I went through the same stuff. I had high blood pressure. You're going to be in trouble. They told me to take some medication for pre-diabetes. I never took it. And I go back and they're like, what the frick happened? I said, well, I didn't. This didn't go over very well. I said, I did the opposite of what you told me. He goes, what's that mean? I go, I didn't take the medicine. I cut back on carbs. Now no carbs. Once in a while, I get like you, John. I'll drink coffee, maybe one a day. I used to drink 2 or 3. But and if I cheat, it'll be cheese. Same thing. And a couple of times, I got to say, I jumped off the wagon. Didn't fall off. I jumped off, and I tried like a slice of pizza. And what I found was, for me, wasn't quite as good as it used to be. Like it just, and if you go off for me, because my body's getting more in tune, I feel like crap for like the whole next day. Horrible. I said, ooh, I don't want to do that again. But no, it's easy, like you said. I've never been on I hear people say, I can't do it. I gotta have this. I gotta have that. Sugar's why you gotta have it. It's addictive. Why is it that some of these big cereal companies have investments in medicine for people that are diabetic? It should be against the law, right? So they're winning on one end, and they win when you're trying to recover from what they just gave you. But no, and gout every 6 months, I couldn't walk. And he said, no shellfish, and don't eat any beef. I haven't had gout in over a year now. No, not even nothing. And gout's debilitating. If you ever do it, it's debilitating. But all the stuff, I look at my hands, and I'm thinking, those look like my hands when I was freaking 25. Veins in my hands, and I'm going, wow, this is amazing. Now I found that my nails are growing faster. I feel stronger. I'm not weightlifting. I got a long way to go, but it changed my life completely. And I'm not telling people to do it. I'm just sharing because it had such an impact on me, and I see it with other people. I said, I love the business we're in. I share it. I love this thing here. And I think there's a lot of people, John, like all of us here, that had chronic pain, have all that stuff. And we want to run out and find out all of our problems in a bottle. And it never worked for me. Always got to, if you read like the side effects, I get that. And when the side effects sound worse than the problem you're trying to fix, it's time to stop taking it. You might have blood coming out of your ear. You won't be able to hear for 3 weeks, but man, your throat's going to feel better. But turn it on to somebody else can say something.
Yeah, I don't have sleep apnea anymore, guys. I'm not with the CPAP anymore.
Chris, do you want to go first?
Wow, I'm still on that, John.
Mm-hmm.
Still have that.
No, I'm going to definitely let you go first. Before Narelle speaks, if anyone's got any kind of questions they want to ask John or Narelle or Marty or even myself, just put them in the chat and I will catch them. Miss Narelle, go right ahead.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, John, for sharing your journey on carnivore and coming onto it. A lot of people's journeys are similar because they get to a point where they don't feel well anymore, or they look in the mirror and actually see what's looking back at them. As sad as what that is sometimes, sometimes we all have to come to that realization that we don't look what we think we look like. And sometimes photos can really bring that out. So thank you for sharing that. When you did that 5 day, it brought up for me that you must have been very smelly within those 5 days if you didn't shower or brush your teeth. So you would have had to be by yourself for some time, I would think. Congratulations on that. Everybody who was here last week knows my journey, and it was Marty speaking about it that I actually had a look at it because I've had open heart surgery, a triple bypass back in 2015. That was my biggest concern. But I was also diagnosed with diabetes type 2 in 2004. I had a really bad workplace accident in the mines because I used to drive the big yellow dump trucks, and that accident put me out in chronic pain for 7 years. My diabetes sort of went out the window because you're just suffering with pain, whatever. You're not thinking about your health or anything like that. You're just trying to get through each day. 2013, I went on tablets and also insulin. I can now say that my insulin is gone. It's there just in case because you're so used to taking it. My tablets, which were twice a day, are now down to still about a quarter every second day. So I just want to take it easy. Everybody's body is different. Remember, we're not doctors. We're sharing what happened to us. Your body is going to be different. You're going to be affected in different ways on how you start this. And like John and Marty shared about coming in via Carnivore, just to get you kick-started. You can do that for a couple of weeks until you're ready to go full carnivore. I have just gone 6 months on carnivore. Feeling great. There's things, even my pain has lifted recently. I suffer pain from a mosquito bite, believe it or not. And it's over here, it's called Ross River fever. And it took me out where I was, 6 months in severe pain last year, where I could barely walk. Probably similar to gout, but in different part of the body. It's not anything related to gout. But I did some research yesterday because one of the sessions or one of the things I'd like to introduce here with Carnivore is what I learned this week, because I think we can all go out there and we can research, we can watch different things. So I'm just going to read a couple of statistics that I came across because I think this is important. And one of the doctors, Dr. Ken Berry, I watched, and Dr. Chaffee, when I can. But Dr. Ken Berry had a video out a few days ago, probably 2 weeks ago, and it says why we need to make America healthy again. And I changed it to why do we need to make our countries healthy again? And that is really important because I'm Australian. Most of you guys are American. Those resource we enable it for our children, our community. Nation is a person, and together we can build a future where everyone has the opportunity fulfilling. What does this look like? people to come together as we are sharing our journeys here with the carnivore way of eating. So we're here to share because we care about people. And if you're anyone who's looking at doing carnivore, then please, the best thing to do is do your research. Start with ketovore if you need to. You know, have a look at what options you think you can do. I know Marty's going to share some information about, you know, cheaper cuts and different things like that. By taking steps towards a healthier future, we can ensure that everyone has the opportunity to live a fulfilling, vibrant life. Together, we can build a resilient, strong, and healthy nation that will thrive for generations to come. This isn't just about money. Yes, we talk about our other business. This is about how long do you want to live and how healthy do you want to be going into those later years in life. I'm 63 years old. I've been through everything you possibly can go through. I have a question that I want everyone to ponder. If the grocery store has a health food section or an aisle, right, health food section, which we all know they do, what does that make the rest of the store? So I want you to ponder that. If the supermarket has a health food department, store, aisle, whatever, then what does that make the rest of the food? Now, just a couple of statistics, because I think these are important. And when you look at these, please don't turn a blind eye thinking this isn't you, okay? Because most of these statistics blew me away. In 2022, 65.8% of adults in Australia were overweight or obese, with 31.7% of adults being obese. The US adult obesity rate stands at 42.4%, the first time the national rate has passed the 40% mark, and further evidence of the country's obesity crisis. Australia ranked 10th out of 21 OECD countries, which is OECD countries are members of the Country Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, just in case you wanted to know. So Australia ranked 10th out of the 21 for the proportion of people aged 15 and over who were living with overweight or obesity. This is in 2022. Wikipedia, and you can go and research this yourself, just go into Google or any of those. I know Google isn't a truth engine, but it does come up with these things, which I think are fairly a good statistics if you're looking at, you know, some of the where it's come from. Wikipedia, it predicted that by 2030, nearly half of the US adults will be obese, including the nearly 1 in 4 who will have severe obesity. The obesity rate will surpass 50% in 29 states. Australia, if current trends continue, the population expected to be living with overweight, including obesity, in 2030 could increase to 64%. Okay, if they don't scare you, then you need to go and have a look in the mirror. If you're, you know, overweight by any means or into that obesity, it will kill you early. Now, again, I'm not a doctor, but I do my research. I have a love-hate relationship with my own doctor. I love telling him about my body, and he doesn't like really listening what I've got to say. But the thing is, everything should be researched. I think I spoke a bit on this last week. This is your body. You have one life. Get out there and try and see what it is that's going to make you better. John, you spoke about sugar, carbohydrates, cholesterol. I was on a statin after I had a triple bypass. Now, why put me on a cholesterol lowering medication statin after I've just had all my bits cleaned out and replaced with new bits? There was no need for it. And until I did my research, I didn't know any different. And that's why I say research, 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 because it's your body. Think about those tablets that the doctor is prescribing for you, because they get a kickback from everything. Have a look. Don't just go off anything. Talk to your doctor and say, hey, listen, I've heard this news. I've done my research. I would really like to try this. If he says, no, don't do that, say, look, as I have done with my doctor, I want to try this. Let's try it for 90 days. And then I'll come back to you and let's have a look at my bloods or, you know, different things like that then and see what happened. Now I've lost up to date, which is just over 6 months, 18.3 pounds or something like that. I didn't have a lot to lose, but boy, it's made a difference. I can see it in my face. I was saying to my sister yesterday, you know, like she brought me over some clothes and it blew me away because I was fitting into stuff that, like I said, I haven't been this weight in over 30 years. You know, you have children, you tend to sort of carry a little bit of that with you as you go along because you never go back to what you truly were. I didn't, you know, my mum probably didn't and her mum probably didn't either. It was just one of those things you just get on with life, you just keep doing. But for women out there, please, you know, reach out. Please look into having a look at this because we carry it around. Well, I carry mine around the tummy. And after writing my book, you know, releasing a lot of that pain and hurt through the, you know, sexual, physical, mental abuse that I went through, a lot of that hurt was kept in my tummy. And I'm noticing that things are changing, things are going down. I'm looking forward. I meet up with some family I haven't seen for a while next week. So I'm looking forward to see if they can see a difference. Many of you do. And thank you, Marty and Chris, for always your support and love. It does make a difference when you have that support around you. And this is what this live is for, is to help you change your life so that you can go on and live the life that you deserve to live. So thank you for allowing me to speak. And again, thanks, John. You're amazing.
Thank you. You are too, my dear.
Fantastic. Now, something I wanted to bring up. There's a lot of people, not a lot, but more and more every day, I'm hearing more and more about carnivore. Now, is it because I'm dealing with it? Probably, but I really think it's getting more and more popular. And like Narelle said, if you go on YouTube, there's actual MD doctors that talk about carnivore and why it works. They get a lot of heat for it, but they're actual MDs. So, and some of them in different fields like heart and all that. So I would really go watch. There was one webinar out, one video, and a lady has been on carnivore as long as she can remember, her whole life. And she was talking, I said, well, she's in pretty good shape too, you know, because I'm thinking, for 50-some years old, man, she looks good. She was 82. Look, I think there's a number for us. And when we hit that number, we leave this planet. But I also believe you could spend part of those numbers not living. And I believe if you could find something, everything we have on the earth, I think is perfect for us, right? We weren't meant to graze. We don't even have the setup to eat a lot of vegetables. And if you look why, and it goes back to some of the stuff that John said, you're trying to process a bunch of greens. Listen, why do you think a cow has 3 stomachs? They're grazers. They got to take it from one to the other. It's fermenting. It's just, it's a lot of stuff in your gut. Biggest, baddest animals, a gorilla, but they eat nothing but vegetables, and their stomach is huge, absolutely huge. Some of the people, the thinnest and people you see that are thin, but they got big bellies. A lot of people from India, you'll notice, are, if you look at them from here up, they look thin. But then when you see their whole body, they got this pot belly. And you say, well, why is that? They don't eat a lot of grain. They eat a lot of rice. They eat a lot of carbohydrates. And no matter how people place, I had somebody say, I'm not eating candy bars. I'm eating, you know, oranges. I said, well, listen, carbohydrate, sugar, your body has no idea the difference. It's not thinking, hey, whoa, don't put that over there. This is an orange. No, it takes it, it's sugar, oh crap. And here's the point that making the magic happen. When you deprive your body of sugar, doesn't happen overnight, about 4 days for me. When you get the carbs so low that you're searching for fuel and there's not enough sugar, it automatically switches over into ketosis. Now, when you get into ketosis, true ketosis, oh my God. I tell you the biggest impact. One was my energy levels through the roof. I mean, I go to bed at night, 5, 6 hours later, bunk, I'm wide awake. I don't blink. I'm wide awake. And I do a lot of stuff online. I might have 2 browsers up and 15 tabs across the top, working on many, many things. And I'm going and going and going and going. And I do pretty well. The fog was lifted. Now, my sister tried it, and I'm going to give you a story on there. Because she's not going to watch this. Thank God I'll be in trouble. But I said, try Carnivore. And I explained it to her. Okay. She got about 2 days. I'm just not made for this. Well, listen, you're going to withdraw in the beginning. You're going to be walking by stuff, and your hand, you find out, is like cousin it or whatever on, but it's reaching for stuff. Even, like you see, it's reaching like an elephant trunk, right? And I'm like, what am I doing? And I never realized how much grazing I was doing. You say, well, I'm not eating that much. I don't know why I'm fat. And listen, I want to tell you something. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But when you hear somebody say, oh, I got a gland problem, 99% gland problem is you're putting the wrong crap in your gland. And this thing about big boned, my mom used to say that about us. My boy's a big bone. You look at my skeleton when I'm gone, and it's going to look pretty much like a skeleton, okay? That bone ain't going to be that much bigger, okay? I'm not a rhinoceros. So a lot of this happens to us, but I do realize the hardest thing about a so-called diet, this is not a diet for me. It's not for anybody here. It's a different lifestyle. The problem with the diet, it sounds horrible. It sounds temporary. Well, you can't temporarily get in good health. It doesn't make sense. But the hardest part of a diet is the cravings. And I'm telling you right now, if you're on the carnivore, and you're pretty good with it, coffee here, a little bit of cheese. You can eat all the eggs you want. I know it's going to blow you away. All the butter you want. Oh, no. Bacon, put it in everywhere you want. And I know that drives people crazy. But for a couple, 3 days, your cravings go away. There's been days, and I know that everybody here has seen this, where it'll get like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I get up like 6, 7 in the morning, and I'm going, did I eat today? I really don't know. I never had that. 450 pounds I was at one time. There was never a day I had to think, did I eat? Because I'm probably eating while I'm thinking about it, No, but it just changed my life. I see everybody here's life. Unbelievable. Like, look at Chris right now. His fate's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. He went right back on carnivore and went right down right away. So if he didn't hurt his hoof, he would be in a little better mood. But
before you go over to Chris, Marty, I just want to say something, because I wanted to say the chat's gone for me, so I can't see it. But I just wanted to say hi to everybody popping on, because I know that, it creates a lot of interest and it makes you think about it. And that's what we're here for, is to make you think about your life. I just read something from Willow, which was absolutely incredible. Willow, I love you. We haven't seen you for so long in your face, but we know that you're still there. And that's the most amazing thing, just to know that you're still with us. You're still here. You're still kicking around, and going ketovore and carnivore, like Marty said. It's not a diet. This is a way of eating. This is a lifestyle change. Are you ready to make that change? Because it will give you the health back, and the feelings of wonderment is just incredible. So sorry about that. I just wanted to say hello to everyone.
beautiful. This guy, Chris, you writing his name down?
Marcella Voros. I think that's a girl.
I don't.
I'm not sure. But Marcella, absolutely. Send me if you're on my Facebook. I'm not sure if you are, you aren't, or Marty's. Send her
or Narelle. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And we want to get as many people on the show, and sometimes the panel will be big, sometimes it'll be small, but we want to get different perspectives. When I started, I think it was 5 or 6 weeks ago, I didn't worry about a scale. What got me going, as we all know, Marty tried telling me about it, and I completely blew him off, ignored him. I called my guy, John White, and he talked me into it. And Marty, of course, was a little hot under the color at me. I go, well, John is living this. Listen, I saw John probably at his closest to his heaviest, and we walked through the airport in Boston together, and both of us weren't doing very good. We were pretty much tail end of everybody. And I remember saying, John, don't worry, I can't walk that good either. Let's just do this together. And what I see today is completely amazing. I will say this, John is very, very knowledgeable because he really, really dug into this. And there's the thing I want to talk about is you still have to have a will to do it. The carnivore helps you accept that will after your 2 or 3 days is first over. Like Marty said, you start not thinking about food. That's the weird part. Everything that we're sharing with you now through our experiences is something that you were taught never to do. That's what is so funny to me is I have the same conversations with my doctor, and he actually said last time is, I think I better check that carnivore out. I've heard about it, but I've never checked it out. And that is a big problem probably with the medical field. My opinion, only my opinion. A doctor, because they go through years of school, is extremely smart individuals. I'm never going to knock a doctor because they went through all that. But they're only researching medicine, pain relievers, something that might put a bandage or control like insulin on a situation. And when you come across something called the carnivore and you eat meat, butter, bacon, all the stuff that I love, which is great for me, they're like, no way. I went to school for 17 years to become a doctor. They never taught me that. Exactly. They never taught you that because they didn't want you to learn that. Because again, and this is my opinion, the medical field or whatever, it's a big business. And what happens when you take livelihood away from people? Well, things go wrong. But I have a lot of respect for these doctors that are coming out on YouTube and social media saying, listen, this works. I got thousands of people that's done it. I've got 4 people on here that it's working for, 2 of them with amazing results. The other, or actually 3 of them with amazing results, and I'm getting there. Now, people say, how much have you lost? My personal self, I've lost close to 40 pounds now in 5 weeks. Pretty amazing, eh? But I never, ever step on a scale, and let me tell you why. Because I don't want to rely on that scale. I want to rely on I need to get healthy. I don't want to put all my mind, oh boy, I'm going to get up today and be down upon. That's me. These guys are all different and gal. But I don't want to get on a scale because I can feel it. I don't want to concentrate with that little scale that big guy going to stand on is going to tell me a number. And it's either going to make me happy or make me sad. I'd rather just feel good and concentrate on sticking to this carnivore life change, eating the right things, listening to different people that's experienced it, like these 3 people on the panel. That's what's most important to me, because I myself have always been when I learned something, I wanted to put it together, take it apart, really understand it. I'm not a person that wants to read something and find out, oh yeah. But I do read, love to read, but hands-on. This is hands-on for me. The only way I had to do this was to do it. And Marty beat me over the head with a hammer every day. Chris, you got to try this. Chris, you got to try this. Yeah, I'm going to call John. Because I saw John. I seen John sitting at a table, and his chair was back 3 feet, and his stomach was still on the table. And that isn't to make fun of him whatsoever. I'm proud of what this guy's done because he led me down the path I'm going. He led Marty. We're going to say you guys led each other that way. He led Narelle. All of you guys kicked in and said, hey, all you got to do is try it. We're not telling you it will work for you, but I can say I think it'll work for anyone that wants to try it. Some people have allergies to certain things. I get that. But we're here to say just try it. We're not giving you advice. We're giving you our realistic stories. By any means, am I any close to being a doctor? That would be funny. But if I could be a doctor, I definitely would study other possibilities rather than sticking a needle in your stomach 5 times a day or taking pills that give you side effects for many different things. And that's my opinion. But if you don't sometimes reach out, or what do they say, step out of the box and try something new, you're never going to know. Or you can just be unhappy and you can watch me and John White walk through the airport at about half a mile an hour because we thought now. I think John made up his mind in that airport that day. I don't know if he's going to say it or not. He probably said, damn. And he don't swear. I got to do something different. And then I didn't see John until last year in Georgia. Literally. He pulled up with his buddy. Was your brother? I think it was your brother or your buddy.
Friend of mine, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm outside. I go, who's this guy? I didn't recognize him. Did not recognize him. And I'm like, you got to be kidding. And the joy that I felt seeing, if he could do it, I can do it. Now, John is 76 years old. Did I say it right this time? 76 years old. Okay, where your metabolism is supposed to be so slow that you don't move very fast. Where, you've been this way, you're not going to get fixed. If a 76-year-old man who was over 400 pounds could lose over 200 pounds of weight, anybody could do it because I see people all the time. Oh, I've done every diet, nothing works because you gave up. There is a lot of diets out there. And let me tell you something, pills, if you take pills because it told you it's going to lose weight, it ain't going to happen. And the only way you're going to lose weight by taking a pill is to get out and exercise nonstop, eat a perfect balanced meal, which we know is really not so balanced anymore. All right. I'm the perfect person. I'm the poster child of buying every pill out there because I've struggled with my weight my whole life. Even when I was in my best shape, man, like I said last week, if I looked at a piece of bread, I would gain 10 pounds. Compulsive eater I was. Holidays are coming up. I have no problem this year. Last year, I stopped going to parties because I didn't want to see all the goodies and the cakes and oh my God, I love the banana breads. And now I think you're going to eat that and you're going to feel like absolute crapola. And this is what happens when you're on this diet. Even before you start this or you want to start it, even before you ever thought about being on a diet, excuse me, what happens when you eat too much? You're in a restaurant, you go out and get all this food, you get the salad, the dressings, the sugar buns, the beautiful melted sugar butter, and next thing you know, you're done eating. And I used to tell the waitress, she goes, is there anything else you want? And then I get a dessert. And then she says, okay, you all set? Do you need anything else? I said, yeah, a wheelchair, because there's no way I can walk right now. Because it tires you out so much. Marty and I've had these discussions the last 6 months. And he said, well, I kind of jumped off and I had this and I feel like that's it. That's what I'm saying is the foods that you've been eating for years have really done nothing for you. And we don't know that because we were taught a different way. We're simply trying to show you what it's done for us. And you should definitely try it. We are going to have more people on this panel. John, you are welcome every single week to this show to bring your expertise. I don't think we have any questions in here today that I'm looking at. Marty, have you seen any? But I appreciate all of you because without you three, be honest, it wouldn't give me the drive. You gave me the drive to do this. All right? I should have been driven by my feet killing me, diabetes, 5 needles in my body a day. I take no insulin, and it's been 4 weeks now. My sugar is better than when I was on the insulin. All right, now that's me. I'm not telling you not to take your insulin, but I'm going to have a nurse on here next Monday. She might say a little different. She's a registered retired nurse, and she's seen a few things, and she can explain a lot of this to you. But again, this is my opinion. I'm a firm believer as if your doctor gives you a shot or a pill, he better explain to you what else it can do to your body. All right. Yeah. When I was explained to you about insulin, all right, was what it is. It just says, hey, tell your body, hey, squirt that out, pump that out to your liver. And really, your body's already meant to do that. And if you drink the right things, eat the right stuff, your body will get back working again. Now, it might take a couple weeks, but isn't it worth it? Marty DeGarmo, back to you, brother.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing, give yourself 90 days. Because I would almost guarantee if you go 90 days, you'll never go back.
Right.
That takes you to any keto flu you might get or feeling bad or whatever. Yeah, what I found out is very basic. I spent most of my life living to eat, and now I eat to live. Two different things. I eat because you need to. I feel good when I'm supposed to eat. We all have certain things, you don't see a fat lion. You don't see a cheetah fat. You don't see apex creatures that do eat meat. They're in good shape. They don't get heavy. They don't. A lion you'll see walk around, and when his time is up, he lays down and walks away from the pride and lays down and dies. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. I hope more and more people get involved. And by the way, in a couple months, maybe we'll have a bigger area for more people to come on. Eventually, we'll have enough room for whoever wants to come on, and that would be pretty cool too. But right now, we can hold 10. So, if anybody wants to come on, and this, I really don't want people on that's going to debate the carnivore. I'm not here to do that. If you don't want to do carnivore, I wouldn't do it. I'm just telling you what it's done for me. It's not, I'm going to argue with that. That would be stupid. I can't argue with that. I did the other life. I lived the other life more than I lived carnivore. And I wish I knew about carnivore in my 30s because it would be different. I guarantee it. If it made an impact on me at 64 and made a walloping impact on John at his age, because I'm telling you right now, if you look at the weight John had and you look at his age, 0% chance that he would do what he did. It's not even 1%. Guaranteed. I remember when I went to the doctor when I was at my heaviest, and he wanted to do that surgery. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. He goes, I just want to tell you, statistics are you're going to be fat, stay fat, and you're going to die fat. Oh, thank you. I hope you have a nice weekend. No, but you know what? He was right until I found carnivore. Because in that system, you're in a system, right? Do you remember like cereal would come up and say, they'd have it right on there, this is good for your heart. Some some cereal. And then you look at the box and I'm thinking, good for your heart. Heart Association said this is the best cereal you can have. Well, I'm so amazed that happened. But I'm just saying, I don't want to put anybody down. I'm not in a competition. I'm not trying to, you're wrong, I'm right. We're telling you what happened to us. And John is a walking miracle. Well, that does not happen. Do yourself a favor. Go to search on it. Search being that heavy and losing that much weight at 40 years old, at 30 years old, and then do it at 70. 0. It's like getting attacked by a shark in Arizona. There's no way that's going to happen unless you walk by an aquarium and he jumps out. But anyway, closing statements, everybody. Anybody?
I'll take first because I know John will want to finish off with his amazing story. I just want to say thank you, guys. It really is important. And to all those out there who are listening, it really is important that, again, you look at your health. You start and do whatever you feel is comfortable for you. We're not here to sell you anything. Okay, so just so that you know, we're not here to sell you a thing, and we're just here to share our stories. I just want to say thank you for the uplifting compliments. They really do help. And I suppose from a woman's perspective, it's nice to know that, you do start to look different or feel different. And I keep going and going like the Energizer Bunny. As Chris said the other day, that the crocodiles won't want to look at me. And I said, well, they'll use me for a toothpick soon. Not quite there yet. However, You know, the way that I keep going, like I said, it's been over 30 years, 30 years since I've been this weight or even close to it. Just one last bit of information is that a linear time trend forecasts suggest that by 2030, 51% of the population will be obese. Are you going to be in that? Are you going to be that person that says, I can't be bothered, I don't want to change, I'm too old? Well, you're never too old, because take a look at Mr. John White, who is 76, Marty 64, I'm 63, and Chris, well, he's just still a baby. We're still getting him out of nappies.
He's a bouncing baby boy, yeah.
But, you know, you really just need to have a look at it. Go and research it. We want you to live for as long as you can in a healthy body, not just dragging your bum around. And I see it all the time. Oh, I've got this, I'm making, I'm painting, I'm this, I'm that, rah, 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 rah. Well, then go and do something about it. That's my end of the day. So thank you guys for having me here.
Absolutely. Big John.
I just want to thank you for allowing me to come to this platform and tell people what's really on my heart. I looked at, if you were to go into a convenience store, you would see 90% of the stores made of highly processed foods, very highly processed foods. And I think about the time when they had this campaign about cigarettes, how it was so glorious and, you know, you were chic and you were sophisticated. They're doing the same kind of emphasis on these highly processed foods. You smoke one cigarette will not kill you, but if you make a habit of doing it, it will. And it's the same about with carbs and all these other things that your body wasn't designed to eat in the imperfect state that we're in. See, everybody think that we're eating the same vegetables that were in the Garden of Eden. No, we aren't. You know, because nothing was ever created that was called corn. You know, it came from another plant, and look at the colors of the rainbow, right? Look how many colors came as a result of those mixing colors. So you want to be able to sustain yourself, and the way you do it is take care of yourself. You see, there's a company that I don't know you guys are familiar with, but once that goes, I want to be able to do everything that I want to. I want to be able to go on a cruise, just eat nothing but meat. You see, ribeye. I mean, hey, you can't get any better than that, guys. And I remember Marty's telling me about his aunt who was 102 and she was eating grease and, you know, eggs. And same thing with my aunts. I had two. One was 103 when she died, another was 102. And all they had was what was on the farm, you see. So I just want to encourage people to just look out for yourself. You're not being selfish, but you gotta love yourself in order to actually love people. Thank you very much, Narelle.
Thank you, John.
Good.
Thank you.
I'm gonna be real quick here because number one, I appreciate for all of you. Narelle said something that I just thought about because I laughed my brains out when she said it. She said, "I want you to ponder this question," and it really was a good question about. They have a health food section in the store. What does it make?
I know. That was good.
That was very good. And then I thought about this because John brought up cigarettes. Back when I smoked and my dad quit smoking, he brought me a pack of cigarettes. He said, "What does it say on the pack? This will kill you. This causes cancer." He says, "You big dummy. It's telling you. The company that's selling you this is telling you." I challenge every food company out there to put that label on their food wrappers. This will kill you. The ingredients in here will kill you. But see, they won't because it's all about money. Don't make it all about money for you. Make it about your health because You want to live as long as you possibly can. And when you get to 59 or 58 years old, things hurt a little bit more. And John being 76 years old, I seen his pain in Boston, but I guarantee he could probably run circles around me right now because he wanted this so bad because he lived most of his life like that. If you're tired of living your life a certain way, the only person that could change it is you, and we're always going to be there to help you. Marty, back to you.
Fantastic. I want to say something that people need to keep in mind. When you're going through life and you're eating bad, you're young. Your body can fight it. And what happens with people, they throw garbage in, bills that compensate for it. The older you get, the more bills you need because your body's been fighting for years and years and years and years. And then we elapse into what? You hear about Alzheimer's. You hear about all these diseases, immune diseases. You hear about people getting colitis, and I mean, just everything from A to Z. And if you go to other countries, even poor countries, they don't have these issues. They don't have it. I'm not saying I know what did what, but since we went on the low fat kick in the 70s, America's so heavy, the world doesn't even spin correctly anymore. You know what I mean? So we got to realize it didn't work. But you got to try it and just see how it does for you. That's all we're saying. But thank you, everybody, for being here. And like I said, I believe 6-7 months down the road, John, we won't have enough room, which would be good. And I tell you what, anybody out there that's in their 20s, 30s, think about opening a restaurant that's catered to carnivore. Now, it may not sound like a good idea right now. It's coming.